Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a source that gives us a really unique historical lens on, well, one of the most polarizing figures of our time, Elon Musk.
You know, the public debate around Elon Musk feels totally stuck. It really seems like you have to pick a side, with almost no room for any nuance in between.
So, on one side, people see him as a straight-up villain, a guy with way too much power messing with things he shouldn't be. Then on the other, you have this view of him as a visionary, almost a godlike figure who is bending history itself. But the source we're digging into today makes the case that if we really want to get a handle on Musk, we have to look past this simple hero or villain thing. Because the real story, as it usually is way more complex.
All right, let's get into it. The source suggests we should look at Musk through a totally different framework, and it starts by showing us a really clear pattern with other big innovators from history.
Let's take Steve Jobs. Today, we practically worship the guy. He's like a saint in Silicon Valley. But the source points out that while he was alive, his public reputation was pretty awful. He got fired from his own company, the media called him a bully, he was known for making employees cry, and he even denied being the father of his own daughter for years.
And you see the exact same pattern with Thomas Edison. We remember him as America's greatest inventor. But back in his day, he was known as a ruthless businessman who launched these nasty smear campaigns against Nikola Tesla. He even publicly electrocuted animals just to make his rival's tech look bad.
So here's the kicker, the point the source is really driving at. In every single one of these cases, the opinion of their contemporaries, the people living at the same time, was the complete opposite of how history remembers them. And the reasons they were disliked? Well, they sound incredibly familiar. Too much power, too abrasive, and just a total willingness to break all the rules.
Okay, so we've got this historical parallel when it comes to personality. But here's where the source argues that what Musk is trying to do is something completely unprecedented. We're talking about the sheer scale of it all.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly. I mean, look at past titans of industry. They might have revolutionized one, maybe two industries in their entire lives. The source's claim here is that Musk is disrupting at least 7 industries, all at the same time.
Just think about how wide-ranging this is. This isn't just one big idea. We're talking electric cars, massive energy grids, space travel, global internet from satellites, AI, brain-computer interfaces, and yeah, humanoid robots. It's the whole shebang.
And to make this really hit home, the source points to the absolutely staggering amount of value these companies have created in just 2 decades. We're talking over $2.5 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's more than the market cap of every single bank in the United States, combined.
So, all of this leads us to the source's central idea, that there's this huge gap between how we see Musk today and the potential future impact his companies might have on our entire civilization. Let's look at the perception side of that gap first. And this is based on hard data. Polls from early 2025 are pretty clear. A majority of Americans, 54%, have an unfavorable view of him personally.
And the source argues that this is the key to that whole historical pattern we talked about. We focus on the personality flaws we can see right now, the tweets, the drama, the controversies, but the huge society-level changes that just haven't fully played out yet.
The argument is that this really negative perception is laser-focused on the man himself. And when you look at his life, it's just been one insane near-disaster risk after another. He has repeatedly bet every single cent he had on these ventures that, logically, should have crashed and burned, pushing himself and his companies right to the edge of collapse.
You know, his biographer Walter Isaacson said something similar, that Musk's demons and his genius are just 2 sides of the same coin. And the source echoes that right here. The same intensity that makes him so polarizing is presented as the very thing that lets him do what no one else has even tried.
So this all builds to the big question the source asks. 50 or 100 years from now, when historians look back at our time, what's actually going to stick? What's going to be remembered?
And for this, the source uses the really provocative example of Henry Ford. Ford was a known anti-Semite, he published hateful stuff, and even took a medal from Nazi Germany. But what do we remember him for today? Overwhelmingly, it's the assembly line and the revolution in manufacturing that made cars affordable for everyone.
Now, it's really important to get this point. The source isn't saying we should ignore the ugly stuff or that it's okay. It's not a moral judgment. It's just a cold, hard observation about how history seems to work. The things that functionally change how we all live often end up overshadowing the personal flaws in the final story.
And that leaves us right here, with the final, really provocative question this analysis puts on the table.
When we judge the big figures of our own time, what are we really looking at? In 50 years, is history going to care more about the controversial tweets and the online fights? Or is the story going to be about the person who pushed us toward self-driving cars, toward becoming a multiplanetary species, and who helped build the advanced AI that might just define our entire future? It really boils down to what we see now, versus what might actually last.